Mic is on. Mic check. Here Now Live number 31. Here Now Live number 31. Here Now Livestream number 31. We're here. We're here now. All that matters is this moment, this very moment, because it's the only moment that exists. Return to the now. Don't get involved in the inner dialogue. Just notice. It's nice there. Okay. Okay, baby. Steel tongue drum. Jason, good to see you in the chat. How are you feeling today, Here Now Nomad? feeling good. I hope the Here Now community is feeling the same. Thank you for sharing, Jason. And yes, indeed, sending positive vibrations to the chat, to all of Here Now. Peace, love, and wholeness. Wholeness is a reminder to just take a step back and invite in space. Actually, need to play with this lighting. Bam, I like that better. A reminder to invite in space, wholeness, 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 right? Seeing the whole picture. As much of the picture as we can see, huh? Who knows what the whole picture actually means, but at the very least, we can see the whole picture, so we're not so reactive to what arises. So love to the chat, love to the chat, peace and love to the Here Now community. We are going 31 lives long. 31 lives long. Not to even count the Instagram and TikTok lives. There are a lot of opportunities for us to expand our awareness around what it means to step out of the mind. The more that my own relationship with the moment deepens, the more I recognize how pivotal it is for the collective to invite more presence into their life. I am Shibi, Halito, wholeness and power to all. Great to just be in the now. How are you, Morcie? Loving the short you put out during the week. I am Shibi. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed those shorts. So grateful to see you here back in the chat once again. A part of the Here Now live community. Much gratitude to you. Wholeness and power. Eddie, I love when you play your instruments. Thank you, Eddie. Much appreciated. It's so fun to just kind of flow. Flow. Much love, Eddie. It's good to see you here in the chat. Once again, we got the Here Now live community. I'm feeling great. Grateful. Here now, as present as presence is. How is everyone feeling today? How are your feelings? Check in. Anything you'd like to share? Anything I would say, maybe a highlight of your week, maybe not a highlight of your week, anything you feel called to share, maybe a quote, you all for listening to that. Thank you, Steel Tongue Drum, for the vibey vibrations, the chill vibrations. Eddie, I'm Chibi Gratitude. Fantastic. Eddie, I'm grateful for life lessons and continuous growth in all aspects of life, and I'm thankful for the experience of life. Much love, much love. Hold on, time to switch it out. Peace and love, Steel Tongue Drum. We'll see you after meditation. Cheers to that, Eddie. Thank you for sharing. I am Shibi. Thinking stops you when you are in the present. So being present is the only way to unlock the doors of being. The uva grape. Much love. Welcome back to Here Now Live. Hey, what's up? The instrument sound you're playing is relaxing. Much love, much love. It's the steel tongue drum, relaxing us, opening up space for us to just be here, this very moment, the only moment that exists. Reminding us that we are beyond the busyness of the mind. We're beyond it. We can use the mind. We can watch those thoughts, huh? Cheers. Cheers to everyone in the chat. Thank you all for sharing. Once again, thank you for being here, and thank yourselves for being here now. Here-ness, now-ness, wholeness. Here Now Live Stream number 31. Here Now Live Stream number 31. Presence keeps bringing us back. It's presence. it's the here and the now. It continues to just be here. So we're just here. Oh my goodness. I'm just talking sometimes. Sometimes things come out. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go with it. Flow. Iced tea today. Iced baby. Here Now Live Streams. A space for us to expand our present moment awareness. A place for us to remember that we are not separate from the whole. So that we can play as an aspect, a piece of the whole. We can play. We don't need to worry. We don't need to fear. Just notice. Engage, right? Tonight's topic is all about flow, right? Engagement and surrender. Exploring what it means to flow and what it might mean to flow for each and every one of us, right? Some might ask and say, hey, what is the present moment, right? Why should I be present? Why should I flow, right? Why should I be present? Why should I flow, right? Presence. Presence is this moment right here. You take a moment for a second, look around you. It doesn't matter where you are. It's this moment right here. Minus the judgment and the criticism. Minus the good or bad, or the beautiful and ugly. Minus all of that. The present moment is just this moment as it is. The isness of the moment, the nowness, the here-ness, the wholeness. The present moment. Presence is It's a state of consciousness, right? Consciousness, awareness, state of awareness, a state of consciousness when you are aware. You are noticing. Yeah, there might be some thoughts here and there, but hey, just let them flow. Let them flow. Yeah, there's an emotion flowing. It'll settle. Just follow it. Follow the emotion. Where's it going? Just follow it. See, the moment you follow it, you give it your fullest awareness, you're in line with it, right? Awareness is, it's undisturbed. It's uninterrupted. So if you find that there's an aspect of you that's half here and half there, nope, right? You might feel this feeling arising. We're like, I am giving my awareness to it. I'm giving my awareness to it. Not exactly. If there's resistance, it's not full-on awareness because there's a need to make it stop. The emotion just is what it is. It does what it does. The thought just is what it is. It does what it does. It's not you. You see, in the present moment, you are aware of that. You are awareness. You with the capital Y. You. Or you just are. You just are. I am. The present moment. Everything that's happening, minus your thoughts, minus your feelings about it. And the more we are aware of that, we flow. Flow is when we find ourselves in harmony with the universe. There's an engagement, right? Yeah, we're going to take a little action. We're going to engage in this world of form, right? Gotta engage. Then there's some surrendering. No overthinking, no overanalyzing, no second guessing yourself. Surrender. You engage and you're surrendered to what's happening. A simple way to describe flow. And when flow is involved, right? When you're in flow, maybe even a flow state, you are so present. You're so present that there is an absence of the self. Presence is the absence of the self. The moment you're aware, there's no self. I find that there are definitely degrees to the state of consciousness in that, but that's an aspect of it when you are in flow. It's just you. You're engaging and you're surrendering. You with the capital Y. No worries are there, right? I have a question for the chat too, right? Question for the chat when it comes to being in flow or flow state. When do you feel in flow the most, right? When do you feel when you're in flow the most, in a flow state the most? When do you recognize that? The uva grape. How do you stay in the now when you're distracted in public? When you recognize that the public is not a distraction and you notice all that's happening, and you allow it to arise as it would. In public, you would treat it the same as you would in observing thought. You would allow cars to pass by, people who are talking. No need to make everyone quiet down. No need to get upset at the loud engines roaring and the cars honking, ultimately it would become a part of your meditation, is allowing. And in the now, in that very moment, that is all of what's happening. That's everything that's happening, right? Minus your thoughts about it, no judgment. You could be in the middle of New York City. Just allow it all to happen, and that is the now. You are one with it. No resistance, zero resistance. Great question, the Uva Grape. Jason, all right. When do we find that we are in flow the most? During meditation. I am Shibi. The flow state for me is always out in nature. I'm not sure if you all can hear, but right now there are birds tweeting outside of my house. Oh, peace. It's been quite nice. The birds always tweet here. They're always tweeting. And also my alarm are birds tweeting. So it's so funny because there are moments when I hear birds tweeting and I'm like, is that my alarm going off right now? Like, yes, much gratitude. Nature, it grounds us. Meditation, it grounds us. We spoke about grounding last week, right? Grounding, right? Whenever we ground, that's that moment we flow and we harmonize. Nature grounds us. Meditation grounds us. The sounds of birds tweeting, whoo, that grounds me. Indeed, that grounds me. The Uva Grape. I feel more in flow when I'm playing basketball or Street Fighter. It feels good. I don't think, I just do it. There you go. No thinking, no overthinking. You're doing it. And playing sports, it's another example of flow state, being in the flow state. We may not recognize when we surrender, but in that flow state, when we're playing a particular sport, we are surrendering to the moment in many ways. And when I say surrender is just like, you're not trying to take control. You're being in the moment, right? So when trying to take control happens, there's a lot of overthinking. There's a lot of mental activity. You're like, I got to make this happen and this happen. But when you're in flow, you're just moving. There's, okay, this happened. Okay, I'm going to move this way. All right, this happened. All right, I'm going to go this way. Okay, I'm going this way, that way, right? I think of it like a flowing river. And maybe there's a couple rocks in the flowing river, big rocks in the stream. The river does not complain that there's a rock in front of it. The river simply splits. The water simply splits and moves on its way. It doesn't matter. None of it is a block. None of it is a challenge. It's just, oh, there goes a big boulder rock. I'm just going to go this way because that's the only option. Or I would say the option of least resistance, right? Because nature always takes us on the path of least resistance, right? Thank you for sharing that. I am Shibi. Like I always say, nothing in the world can bother you except your own mind. Ain't that the truth? Cheers to that. That's it. Everything. This world, it's a mirror of us. The world we live in is a mirror of us. It's a mirror of our perception of reality. The world is a mirror of what we ask for. The world is a mirror of what we claim. The world is a mirror of what we know ourselves to be. That's it. That is it. And that is why often all it takes is this much space for us to, not even this, maybe even this or this or this, like, to just step into the present moment for a second and recognize, whoa, I was in my head. All right, no big deal. Just, you may not even need all that dialogue. It's just an in. You were consumed in, present moment. Maybe you just, all right, right? Awareness, that's all right. Just go with the flow. Awareness, the mind might, we may get consumed in the mind, and then we just come back. We is I am. We is the awareness, right? I is the awareness. I was thinking about that, how we talk about I. When I say this, I mean the self with the capital S, all right? The self with the capital S, okay? All right? And when we recognize that, once again, we're in flow, we're in harmony. Cheers to that. Eddie, all day I am in flow. Peace, love, wholeness, indeed, and flow. All day, all day, all day, I felt that. The uva grape. What time is it over there? Why are there birds? Haha. For me, it's 7:32 p.m. And the sun is still kind of... the sun is setting right now. It's going down. So, yeah, that's why there's birds out. I am Shivi. You're right, Morcie. You can be in a crowd, but when you're out in a crowd and around noise, it just doesn't matter. I'm flowing. Cheers to that. Yes. You're with the crowd, all right. You just accept. You accept that is the moment, right? See, this is what it means to accept the present moment as it is. We may say to ourselves, I'm an introvert. Being around people is too much. And you know what? That might, in fact, feel that way, right? Honor your feelings. It's a moment of recognition, just knowing that when you're in a crowd, the best way to not drain your energy is just to accept the moment as it is. You flow. What was your intention? Oh, my intention is to get out of this crowd. Okay, you set the intention, you put one foot in front of the other, and you just follow that. All right, there doesn't have to be any complaining, any resistance. That's not necessary, right? You find that the more present you are, the less you complain about what's happening. The less you're finding problems here and there and everywhere, right? The problems are they're always created by the mind, right? Right? Without any thoughts or emotions, how are you feeling? Not how you feeling. How do I say this? It's like without the thought, there's no problem, right? Without the narrative that was connected to the emotion, there are no problems, right? All problems are created from the mind. This moment is exactly as it is, right? But then the mind will be like, oh, there's something wrong here and here and there. But really the moment is just what it is. So if something needs to happen, all that is recognized is, oh, okay, gotta do a little spring cleaning, going to do spring cleaning. But often what happens with that is that, oh, okay, I gotta do spring cleaning. Why didn't I do spring cleaning yesterday? Oh, how did this get there? Oh, what's up with me? Just, just a whole bunch of narratives. Oh, look what the dog did. Look what the cat, just a whole bunch. Just more and more, more and more inner dialogue, right? You'll find that the more present you are, the less you give that inner dialogue attention, right? The less it feels like it has power, right? Our awareness is everything. Our energy, our awareness, it's our greatest currency. Once you start observing the mind, the way you observe your mind, right? It will begin to mirror out in how you engage with the external world and how you engage with others, right? We'll dive more into that too, but it's very true. Just like how we shared, I shared here in the chat, you deal with the crowd, you engage with the crowd in the same way you engage with those thoughts. Accept, allow, Meditation is a state of being. It's a state of being. It's a practice until it no longer needs to be a practice, right? When you're in flow, you're in a meditative state. Meditative state. And it is important, you know, for us to have practices, dedicate some space throughout the day or whatever it might be, to consciously do nothing. You can have your eyes open or closed. You can be upright in stillness. You can just lie down. Consciously do nothing. Consciously do nothing. No labels. You in that moment, you're no one. You're no thing. There's no separateness. All is one. Whole. Jashan. Nike was onto something when they came up with their slogan. Cheers to that. Just do it. Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. What's up, Jashan? Good to see you in the chat, moderator gang. Oh my goodness. That is exactly it. When we're in a flow state, we are just doing it. We're just doing it. One foot in front of the other. As an idea arises, we follow. No resistance. Maybe there is a question, but in that, there's flow. There's no resistance. There's no doubt. You're just doing it. That's flow. Just do it. The uva grape. Morcie, when do you feel in a flow state? Great question. Definitely, in Here Now Live, whenever I speak or make videos, definitely feels like so in flow. We talk about engagement plus surrender. Reveals the importance of just do it. It reveals the importance of keep doing it. Just doing it. Just do it and keep doing it. And yeah, definitely this, definitely meditation. When I too am engaging in any active activity like yoga, when I play soccer, oh my gosh, talk about flow. Talk about flow. Writing. And then, honestly, I have this conscious practice that I do where consciously just being. So I recognize moments when there's too much awareness on the thoughts within my mind and like the emotions that arise. So I will have this moment where I'll be like, okay, in this moment, I will just consciously be aware of everything I'm doing. I did that right before like setting up. So setting up was my meditative doing, just to step into that, right? We talk about being in flow all day. It's one of those things where you're doing task, your everyday task that can seem mundane to the mind, right? But when you step out of the mind and you just do, and you just get everything together, whether you gotta, whatever you need to do in your house, day-to-day household task, all right? Perfect opportunity to get in a meditative state and be fully aware of what you're doing. That's a flow. And in that space, you're liberated. You're liberated from thought. You're liberated from the emotions that arise, that mirror them, that are its counterpart. You're liberated, and that's flow. All right, great question. Great. Yeah, yes, the live is definitely flow status. Indeed. Flow state, baby. I have a little note here, right? You know what? Before I read this, let me know in the chat, what does flow mean to you? What does flow mean to you? Go. Jason, listening to, I always say this wrong, lo-fi. Sometimes I say lo-fi. Listening to lo-fi music also helps me remain in a flow state. Same here. Same here. Music, it definitely, it helps us ground, especially music without words, without lyrics, without something for the mind to have to translate. So when we have these beats that are relaxing and we just vibration, so we're vibing, we're flowing. Yes. That's why lo-fi music is used often when studying. I know there are moments when I put it on when I'm writing. I have to do things for content, maybe writing descriptions. I like it when I'm writing a lot. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Or you can say too, you know, when you think of the flow state, what comes up to you, right? So 2 questions, all right? What does flow mean to you? And when you think of flow, what arises? What comes up, right? I'm Shibi. Flow to me is when subconscious and conscious are in harmony and not duking it out constantly. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Subconscious and conscious are in harmony. Harmony. Not one saying, no, I think we should go this way. And the other one's like, trust me, we should go this way. Right? Jason. No lyrics or narratives to latch onto, which opens up space for flow. Yes. I enjoy listening to lo-fi, also hand pan music, hang pan, or even the steel tongue drum. Love that. Love it. Listen to it while I'm driving. The drive is just like, yes, this is it. This is life. Grounded. Eddie. Flow state to me is having direction towards a goal, and you're actively achieving it. Cheers to that. And that reminds me, I did ask a question. I had a title for this live, but then I changed it. I think this one was more. So Eddie. And I think Eddie, you actually commented on this. So I asked the question, how has meditation or the practice of presence helped you stay present and focused on your intentions? Right? And Eddie shared, meditation has helped me stay present and stay in the I am knowing. I can move my breath and control my emotions and thoughts. Yes, right? Flow state. You have a direction and a goal. You just do it. You're actively achieving it. Nothing's getting in the way, right? What distractions are those things that we give energy to and we validate. And this is why the more we are present, the less distracted we feel, because we're recognizing this perfection of the present moment. perfection that lies outside of the mind. Everything as it is life's own form of perfect, that no individual on this planet can explain those workings, but we can observe it. And when we're present and we're there, we recognize, okay, well, that was a part of just the present moment of what happened. The more accepting we are of what is now, the easier it is for us to be discerning, less reactive, not blaming, but truly here in the moment. Fully. Full. Cheers to that. Thank you for sharing, Eddie. The Uva Grape, flow say to me, it means no thoughts, just doing without hesitation. There we go. See, we have a theme going here, right? A theme. We might, you'll notice when you observe the mind, often even when you're in flow. Maybe it'll start off, there's some thoughts in that mental field, but then they fade, right? You don't need to quiet the mind, right? How could we force the mind to be quiet? What's going to happen is there's one voice telling the other voice to be quiet. Now there's just two voices just going at each other. Neither are you. The you with the capital Y, the self with the capital S. No, that you doesn't get involved, actually. Doesn't get involved. It's kind of like funny to say, but it doesn't get involved. It's noticing. Whatever it is, awareness, all. You are life. Observing. Just right? That's harmony. Acceptance. It's beyond the mind. The mind will always have an opinion, right? So when I talk about the mind too, I want to make sure that I am clear on that. The mind is the individual. It's the separate self that I'm speaking about. And I'll say that ego consciousness, all right? Ego consciousness is the unobserved mind. This is a definition. There's quite a few definitions, not going to lie. So I'm going to share the one that I'm most in recognition, because I do understand some may say ego is the personality, right? The personality. Some may say, like Eckhart Tolle says, ego is the unobserved mind. So when you are reactive, that is ego, right? Some may say it's a personality, so the whole individual as itself, what I found myself using more often than not is just that aspect of when you are unaware that you are not separate, right? You're when you believe, right? I would say the aspect of the mind that believes it is separate. And this is how, when I share, the mind is not going to understand that you are life. When I share this, it feels nice, right? Because the moment you hear that, at least for me, you're life, you're the present moment, you are the flow. That awakens something within. Now, the mind is not going to completely understand that because it's not meant to. That's why we don't get it right away. That's why it actually means being in stillness. Being still and recognizing beyond the mind that that's the case, Yes. No hesitation, just doing. ego consciousness. I'm backtracking myself because I forgot what I was saying. We'll just leave it there. It'll come back. Just Sean. Yep, that's it. Flow is detachment. Ooh. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Flow is detachment. Not attached to an idea, to the outcome, an expectation, right? What immediately comes to mind is, for me, I'm not sure if I shared this here, I probably do, but I enjoy watching tennis. I have to say it's my favorite, along with soccer. Football, favorites, my two favorites. Like I said, I enjoy the athletics, and I've learned, sports, of course, involve competition. So of course there's ego involved. Yeah. They're not sitting there meditating on the court. There's one team against the other and someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose, right? So it's very interesting. I feel like sports being a part of something that I enjoy in this world, and simultaneously my practice of presence. It has been so interesting to observe the shift in consciousness when it comes to detachment. So let's say, you're watching, it's a competition, okay? It doesn't have to be sports, but I'm just going to give a sports example. I'm watching tennis and I see one of my favorite players and I'm like, all right, I want that player to win. And so I recognize, I play around, I like to play around with the mind and say, all right, I'm going to detach for a second. And there's just a steady, just doing. But the moment you attach to the end goal, you're like, so nervous, so nervous, right? And then often I think about what it takes for a tennis player to play, right? What makes it so different? What I find personally so intriguing about the sport of tennis is how lonely of a sport it is. You're not on a team. You're not on a football team, a soccer team. You're not on a basketball team. It's you and your team, maybe your coach, a manager, your fitness coach, whatever. But it's all you. When you're on the court and you're down, the only thing you've got is your relationship with your mental. And I find that that's what has drawn me into watching it. Because I find that those who are in the top 10, those who have higher rankings, their mental must be balanced and steady during a game. I noticed that while observing the game, the moment the player starts to get frustrated or upset, that's it. Most of the time, the majority of the time, it kind of starts tumbling. When I'm like, oh, they're frustrated. That's it. Because the mind gets in the way. The way the game works is you can honestly win at any second. You can be down and there's a momentum and then you can win. You must remain centered. Right? On top of the fact that for most in tennis, you lose more than you win. You lose more than you win. Talk about keep going. Talk about not giving up. Right? So cheers to that. If anyone can take anything away from that, I know that when I observe and I watch tennis, I find a lesson in everything. It doesn't need to specifically speak of spirit. Spirit is in everything. Because spirit is everything. Duh. You're kidding. But in anything we watch, right? It doesn't have to necessarily talk so openly and watch or consume or things like that. there's always some form of it there. As long as we are open to receiving it, it's always there, right? Because everything is spirit, consciousness, right? Yeah. Cheers to that. The uva grape. When I eat, I feel like I'm meditating. I could see my thoughts. Ooh. Food. Why did I think about food? When you're eating and you're savoring every bite, you're there fully connected, mind and body connection when we're eating. That's why, it's another practice of presence when we eat. Don't watch TV when you eat. This is an intentional. Don't watch TV or be on your phone, but eat and be there with the food. That's another practice of presence, right? It's a practice until it's not. That's another way to invite presence into your life. No distractions. Hey, maybe you might be conversing with a friend. That's fine. But if you're with yourself, it'll be good for just you and your food. Your food is consciousness too. Be there with it. Indeed. Meditating while eating. Full observation, thoughts, emotions. Thank you for sharing. I am Shebi. Silence is my friend. It came to me when I didn't know anything about awareness. Then one day I was like, oh, I got it now. Truly was an eye-opener. Stillness, silence, spaciousness. Truly all it takes is, it's it. That's it. It's the word difficult is the word of the mind. The word cannot understand that. So it's like, oh, it's difficult. It's just, we talked about this last week, right? The addiction. Why? Because words create an identity. Every sentence we speak and many of the words we speak, it does have to do with some form of judgment, right? Some form of, preference. Like maybe you're like, hey, I like ketchup, I don't like mustard, right? There's nothing good or bad about that. It's just a preference. It's also a judgment. It's a judgment. So when we are not attached to words and identity, we can recognize that, oh, it's just a judgment. Or you can even say, oh, it's just a belief, right? There's a difference, right? You can have a preference but not be attached. There could be a belief that you have but not be attached to the belief, right? And it's, hey, we're individuals on a very large planet. So many different points of views, right? I think there's a difference with, yes, you have a belief, but some also being attached to the belief. So once you're attached to the belief, that's when the ego strengthens, because that belief now becomes you. So if anyone decides to question that belief, it's as if the belief is questioning you. And this is why it's so important to continue to build that relationship with the mind, awareness, seeing the dialogue, silence, your greatest teacher. You know what that reminds me of too, right? When it comes to silence is just how certain content is created online in order to keep the attention of a viewer. If anyone here is a content creator, or maybe you watch content and you notice this, right? Those skips. You ever watch a video and you notice that in the video there's skips, and that those are the gaps of space between words. And I have noticed that, there's a couple people who are content creators and their purpose is to help other content creators. And what popped up was this advice to cut out the gaps of space in the videos to keep the viewer's attention. And I was like, wow. I mean, I noticed this, and I've always had the point of view of like, this is what feeds addiction to thought. It's feeding it more and more. And it's doing it widespread on the internet. Oh my goodness. And so when there is silence, when there is space, what comes up are the thoughts of, I'm bored. I don't want to wait for this. Then that pours into your day-to-day life outside of content creation. So the whole just Nike, just do it thing, that goes out of question. Why? Because you're not going to just do it. The mind is going to be flowing and flooded with so many different thoughts and criticisms and judgments that there's no relationship with space to even invite in space. So every thought that arises is going to be taken personally and given energy to. Now we see this cycle, right? Space. I'm going to continue to share that. Anyone here in the chat, if you haven't noticed it, check that out. And simultaneously, while you're on, anytime you're scrolling, definitely take time to just look up for a second and be, if ever you find yourself, it happens. There's no shame. Like, that happens. You might be seeing something and you're like, whoa, this is fun. This is good. And then you're like, oh, wait, just take a moment to sit back. You might be watching a show that you like and, it might have been 2 episodes already. Maybe after that second episode, go outside and stretch a breather. We get caught up in the binge watching because once again, there's not enough space. So it's like, next episode, I'm not even going to think about it. There's no space. I got to know, because it ended in a cliffhanger, which all television shows love to do, right? And so, we begin to notice the more space we invite, and we begin to notice, oh, that's just like, that's a thing. They're just trying to get me to keep on watching. But, do you blame them? No, they just want you to watch their stuff. It's more of, this is what I mean when we say taking responsibility for yourself, right? We're not going to blame them, right? That's such a waste of energy, like, to just blame. Like, it was Netflix, that's a problem. Like, it's a lot. Hey, one may argue, okay, there's probably some valid points in that. Simultaneously, I ask myself, what can I do? Because I'm not trying to waste my energy. What can I do? Hey, I enjoy this show, but I've seen enough. I'm going to go outside, listen to the birds sing, do nothing consciously for a little bit, and come back here. Right? So it's just one thing. This is how we maneuver in this world, this generation, the digital age, how we maneuver these advanced technologies and all that's happening. Nothing needs to be taken personally. Technology has done things that has allowed us to truly recognize the oneness, right? We see across the world that we have so much more in common with others than we do differences. I mention this all the time, like, the internet and social media has helped us be in other countries without physically being there, learning about other countries without physically being there, maybe even inspiring us to visit another country or to travel or to expand our awareness. It's done a lot. It's all about being aware of our perception of reality. When we're there, I have something to read. Just don't mind me, just collecting gems. Something I'd like to read to you all. Okay. This is from an article that I found. Someone interviewed, I think it was a Buddhist, a monk, because Roshi is the name of, I looked this up, but it says Roshi. Roshi's like the name given to, it's like an honorary name. All right, now I have to look it up. One second. So I'd like to explain this fully, clearly. Roshi. It's Japanese. There we go. Spiritual leader of a community of Zen Buddhist monks. All right. So someone interviewed. This is just a little snippet. And this stood out to me. Alrighty. Okay. This is one aspect of it. When you begin to use thought the way it ought to be used, you find it easier to let go of thought. But for the first step, you must recognize the fact that things just appear as they are, without respect to you or your thought. The more you realize this, the more peaceful you will become. And the easier it will be to let go of everything. The things we talked about here this evening can become the basis for all of you. This was a long interview. This was the last ending of it. Essentially, what we were sharing today, what I appreciated about it was this sentence. You must recognize the fact that things just appear as they are without respect to you or your thought. The more you realize this, the more peaceful you'll become, right? Things will appear as they are without your thoughts about it. And see, the more we recognize that, oh, this is, no matter how much I resist, all right, it is what it is. Now, I'd like to say, all right, when we're talking about flow, I think I want to speak about a misconception, a misconception about presence. And I find that this, I would say, it just pulls others away from meditation, I would say, or I'll just share it, get my words together after. This idea of being passive, okay? When you are allowing the moment to be as it is, it does not mean you are being passive, right? So maybe someone like pushed you and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to let him push me because flow. Like, okay, I'm just gonna. This is when it comes to presence, and being present allows you, right, to be discerning, helps you use thought instead of thought using you. If you recognize danger and a thought comes up about what to do next, you follow it. There's no fear, maybe a little fear, but yet you're still calm. Yet you still choose to be as present as you can be. You're not reactive. You put one foot in front of the other, and boom, you allow presence to flow through you. You follow your intuition. You're in flow with the inner essence. This isn't passive, right? This is why it says, right? When you begin to use thought the way it ought to be used. This is what we do here and Here Now Live. We learn how to use thought in the way it ought to be used. We all, we didn't learn how to use thought. No, I don't. We didn't really learn it. There wasn't a class in school about thought. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to write that down on the list. I'm going to make a textbook. How to use thought. Once you use thought in the way it ought to be used, oh my, you want to talk about life being a flow in a meditative state? What? Cheers to that. The Uva Grape. If you're tall, I challenge you to a flow state basketball game. Yeah, see, basketball, not my sport. Nope. It's just not my sport. My arms get way too tired with the... So you already won that one. A flow state basketball game, though. That's funny. I like that. The Uva Grape. I once watched 4K lion videos on YouTube, and that made me feel like I was meditating. Love nature docs. I love nature docs because you want to talk about flow? This is why we are so grounded in nature. Even when we watch nature documentaries, it still has just this way to ground us. I find, right? It was meditating. And what I enjoy too is when you are watching the way nature, I would say, flows, the way way nature goes, whether it's an animal pack, whether it's like a plants, you see that everything is what it is. Like I've seen nature documentaries with monkeys, and like in my judgment, it's quite brutal out there, you know? And it just shows like nature does what it has to do. Nature will always follow the path of least resistance, and it will simultaneously bring awareness to our judgments of just life, in that life and death is happening all the time in nature. It's just a thing. Life and death is just always happening with animals and plants, even forest. They do need fire. They have to be burned down in many spaces in order to start anew. I'm not sure if anyone has been to a park where they have seen rangers doing conscious fires. You know, they're purposeful and they're planned to help the park and the trees and the earth regenerate itself, because it's important, right? Once again, these are the inevitable counterparts, yin and yang, right? Decay and growth. This is a part of the nature of life. When I was watching a documentary, and it was a pack of lions, and there were some baby cubs, and they were traveling, and the baby cub was a little bit too active. Baby cub hurt himself, and the baby cub couldn't join along with the pack. They had to leave the baby cub. So to me, I'm like, no way. You can't leave that cute thing there. There's no way. There's no freaking way, bro. But that was how nature rolled with it. In that moment, it was a form of, you must detach. Nature always takes a path of least resistance, right? Obviously, as human beings, we can do more for humans because we're just different. But in that space, it wasn't the best decision, right? That sounds tough, right? And I know I'm speaking from a place of perception, but like I said, nature always brings us back to the present moment. It always brings us back to the isness of the moment. It just is. And in that space, there's no judgment. So we're essentially not really taking anything personally. We're not feeling hurt by it because we are one with all. So everything's just happening as it is. So we are one. That is the oneness. We are life, right? Eddie, you have to create your own reality. Breathe through it and think constructive thoughts. There we go. Cheers to that. Cheers to that, right? We're learning how to use thought. And there's different aspects of that. One is observing it, understanding the nature of it. Now you know the nature of thought. Now you can use it. Use thoughts that are constructive. Use thoughts that allow us to follow through with that intention that we set. The intention can be as simple as, well, any intention is quite simple, honestly, if we think about it as a whole. The Uva Grape, much love. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate your engagement, and I will see you next time. All right. You have to breathe. You have to create your own reality. This is Eddie. Eddie, you have to create your own reality. Breathe through it and think constructive thoughts. All right. It's one of those things where if you're going to use the mind, it might as well be, might as well be nice in there, I mean, the best we could do, It's true that, a thought is a thought, right? But obviously, when we, in this world of form, it's much better to use thoughts that honestly that allow us to be uplifted, that relax us. At the very least, not allowing ourselves to be in this pulled deeper into unconsciousness, right? When you're so deep in unconsciousness, depending on the attachment or the degree of that attachment, it may not be as easy in that moment to awaken, right? We know in those moments when we feel those spaces of suffering, right? Those moments of suffering. It's not really space there, but they are moments of suffering. But once we learn, we continue to learn, because I know for sure on this chat and on this channel, we're all learning how to use thought more and more. But that's the goal, right? Let's learn how to use it. It's going to be there. It's not going to stop. And yeah, there's going to be some thoughts in there that we might have a judgment of, but the whole point, right? The whole point. Once again, and you know what comes to mind too is that thoughts happen to us. Thoughts happen to us. Yes, for sure. There are moments where, and I'm still learning. But there are moments when, we feel like we actively brought up a thought. Simultaneously, there are other moments that flow in, right? Insight, right? When we have epiphanies, when we're in a moment of like, here's a new idea, another idea. You might be on a creative streak. You might be in flow, and ideas are they're flowing to you because you're open. Ideas are coming, right? The thoughts are happening to us. Anyone here read the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert? I encourage you to check it out. She talks about how ideas, they want to be manifested through us. So when you have an idea of doing something, that idea chose you. Your vibration matched that. Come together. So that thought, it came to you. And when we remember that, we don't take it as personal, right? We talk about intrusive thoughts. Hello, Queen. We take away the whole idea of it being intrusive, right? Because intrusive, it makes us feel as though we are like a victim to it. We're hopeless. Oh, it's intruding me. It's just a thought. You don't need to believe it. It's flowing through. Hey, do you want to the thought comes into your mental stream. Hey, do you want to believe me? You want to give me some energy? Yeah, no, you don't. All right. Well, there's no point in me being here because I'm not getting any attention or energy. Fades away. And if anything, I'm sure there is definitely a definition for intrusive thoughts, but in many ways, let me look it up. Let me get the actual definition. Intrusive thoughts. I want to get the definition. Unwanted thoughts, images, impulses, or urges that can occur spontaneously or that can be cued by external or internal stimuli. Here's what caught me there. Intrusive thoughts, they are unwanted thoughts. Unwanted thoughts. The word unwanted. Unwanted. That's what causes the discontent. It doesn't have to be wanted or unwanted. Take out the unwanted, just a thought. And it's no longer intrusive. It just is what it is. It just is what it is, right? Like that, maybe we'll dive into that, make it another ideas. They're just flowing. All right. Flowing with the universe, with life, with you. This you. I really appreciated today's live, tapping into flow, reminding ourselves of flow, and coming home with some bringing and reminding ourselves to be less resistant, to be more aware. One thing that I notice before I close this out with the word flow is that surrender tends to be a lot more used with the word flow than engagement or than discipline, right? There are a couple words that I said, like effort and surrender, discipline and surrender, all of those things, engagement and surrender. Kind of came down, I like engagement. I like that word, engagement and surrender. And I noticed that the reason why when we hear flow, we're immediately thinking surrender is because we are overly engaged that we just need to be reminded to surrender. And so often we think only flow is like a surrender. So there's a misconception where it's like, okay, I want to manifest this. I'm going to do this, and then you may not do anything, or you're just like, all right, I'm just going to fully just surrender. And I'm sure there's going to be, if you choose to do that fully, no attachment to anything. Beautiful. But I think there's a misconception that ends up happening where it's like, okay, I'm only going to surrender, right? There must be a form of engagement. Like when you set an intention, there must be a form of engagement and surrender. So just something to think about and consider when you say, okay, I'm going to flow through the day. There will be a form of effort, but it won't be an effort that is, I would say, there's resistance, You're just engaging. So that's the effort, even though in many ways that feels effortless. Life is a paradox. Welcome to being human. Peace, love, wholeness, here-ness, now-ness. Thank you all for engaging and sharing your thoughts and ideas on flow. All of us in many ways, we were aligned in the way that we see flow. There's a sense of harmony and alignment with flow. We may see flow, each of us are going to see flow differently in our lives, but ultimately there's a sense of harmony and alignment, right? Peace, love, and gratitude. I do want to say, are there any questions around this before we move on to our gratitude ritual? Are there any questions around flow or maybe anything you'd like to share? Gratitude, love, light, life. I am Shibi. Much love. Eddie, you're great. Much love, Eddie. Much love. I appreciate the vibrations. What we'll see, honestly, in all of our discussions, it always comes down to returning to the present moment. It does. This is why it's called Here Now Live. We can honestly talk about anything, and it always will come down to the present moment. This is why I've seen within my awakening, why I've been so drawn to sharing this and drawn to learning more about awareness and what has been experienced and shared by others and with myself. I've been very drawn towards that. I find that it is the foundation of spirit. It's the now. But we could talk about just anything, and so much of it will find ourselves in peace whenever we're reminded to be here now, because we just immediately become the flow, and that's it. We got it. I have a question for you all. A question. What are you grateful for today? What are you feeling grateful for today? All right. Okay, Bubs. Do sandalwood. Water. Gotta love that H2O. Gotta appreciate the foundation of life in the physical. Water. An element of the physical. Water. Much appreciation for water. Bodies of water like the ocean. Natural choice, plant-based incense. Boom. We're going to use sandalwood today. Beep. And if you are here with me and you'd like to join this, grab a cup of tea. You can sip a cup of tea when we cheers. You can light a palo santo or sage or an incense yourself. If you'd like to burn something, a smoking ritual if you would like. Just Sean, grateful for spring, warm weather, and more time in nature. Cheers to that, right? We had the new year, the real new year. Beginning of Aries season, huh? So happy new year here now live. Springtime, the birds are tweeting, the chicks are hatching, the flowers are blooming. Life, life is all things, but we'll say growth and full and bloom, growth and bloom. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Eddie, I'm grateful for life and the ability to be alive and move around. Cheers to that. Movement. What? Today I was, so I have a new intention for myself for when I practice yoga, and one of my intention is to work very much on my hip flexors, because if anyone here has done yoga or done any hip stretching, you'll know that our hips hold so much emotion. There's so many just memories there sent there, and it's very tight. And often when you stretch your hips and you get really flexible there, you can feel an emotional release. And it is relieving. It's light. You're left with a light feeling. So, you know those squats that they say adults aren't able to do? They call them, hold on, let me see if I have the name for it. What's the name of the... It's a squat that, because we sit down all day, then it makes our kids can do it. A lot of kids can do it. Adults can do it too. I know that when I went to Japan, everyone was doing it. Not everyone, but it was very common. Like if you were waiting for the train to come, you'd see some people like squatting and they'd be on their phone. And it's a very like, your hips have to be flexible. I'm going to get it. What is the name of the hip squat? There has to be a name for it. I'll find it. Let me know if you all know what I'm talking about. We call it a baby squat. Is it a baby squat? I gotta show you guys a picture so you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna call it a yoga squat. Haha, this is it. This is it. This is it. It's this squat. Man, you can't really see it. Can you see this one? It's better. Malasana. It's called Malasana in yoga. There you go. You can see that one better. This one right here, try it. Try it. Definitely try it. That's one that I've been making a part of my practice. So you know what I'm going to say? Gratitude to yoga squats and opening up, this movement. When this is a beautiful practice to be in touch with your body, mind and body. When you're stretching, you can feel the tenseness. That tenseness is not just physical, right? All aligned. So it's a lot of just storage of emotions that have been left and been clenched. Even our posture, if our posture will say a lot about our state of being, right? Often if it's like caved in like this, right? It's almost like it's like a subconscious way of the need to protect your heart, right? That's why in yoga, there's heart opener postures where you're literally going like this and you're opening up your heart space, because often could be that like this, and that's a very that's an insecure, honestly, it's unconscious, but there's a aspect of that is like trying to hide, so just something to show like our body and postures and our stretches and movement. It can reveal a lot that needs to be released too. So it's another great way to be one with yourself is all. Happy New Year for sure. Happy New Year, fam. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. I'm Shibi, grateful for prana, the rain, the wind, and the sun peeking out to wrap up the day. Cheers. Cheers. Eddie, I do it all the time. I used to do it in high school with the Asians. Yeah, because there's a term for it. It's called the Asian squat too. Yes, it's nice. I'm Shibi. I do that squat when I stretch. Nice. You guys see it? You guys see it? It's great. It's great. All right. Thank you, Here Now community, for this gratitude. So much gratitude to spring, warm weather, time in nature. Gratitude to life, being alive and moving around. Gratitude for Piranha, the rain, wind, and sun. Gratitude for yoga squats. Gratitude for moving our body and stretching our body and releasing and becoming more conscious of the energy that flows through our physical body. Gratitude for that. Gratitude for taking care of ourselves. We could have been anywhere else, but we chose to be here now, to remind ourselves of flow, to remind ourselves to just do it, and to remind ourselves to surrender. Flow. Cheers, y'all. It's locked. There we go. Let's do this one conscious breath meditation. Open up bring awareness to our heart center and be here now. Take one conscious breath in. One conscious breath out. Bring your awareness to your heart center and be here. Thank you for joining me in that meditation. I'd like to share a passage from this book right here, Eckhart Tolle, Oneness with Life. I have brought this on to Instagram and TikTok. Not sure if I brought it on to YouTube. These are special selections, inspirational selections from A New Earth, Eckhart's book, other book. I think it was the second one. And I appreciate this book because it uses, like, I can flip to any page and it's as if it's a meditation. It gives that same feeling of when we flip to a page in Tao Te Ching where it's you read something and you're like, same with this book, because the passages are shortened and you could like take it in that way. Alrighty, so what I will do is Also, if you're interested in this book, this book also is on the inspirational book list, so check it out in the link tree. Another great book. Alrighty. What does the Here Now community need to hear today? Nice. Oh my god, that's so crazy. We were talking about this. This is what I appreciate about life. We talk about intention, right? There's truly not, we don't have to, there's not much we need to do. Engage, yes. But other than that, just do it. Every time I flip to the energy, it's always matches whatever. Anytime I ask what we need to hear, I flip, go to a page. It shares, it gives another edition of exactly what we were speaking about here. There's a lot in this book. There's a lot of different aspects, but this is specifically, we were talking about it. All right. I'm going to share this. I went to I flipped on page 11. 11. Okay, 11. Numbers. All right, here we go. Choose an object close to you. A pen, a chair, a cup, a plant, and explore it visually. That is to say, look at it with great interest, almost curiosity. Avoid any objects with strong personal associations that remind you of the past, such as where you bought it, who gave it to you, and so on. Also avoid anything that has writing on it, such as a book or a bottle. It would stimulate thought. Without straining, relaxed but alert, give your complete attention to the object, every detail of it. I want to read that again. Without straining, relaxed but alert, give your complete attention to the object, every detail of it. If thoughts arise, don't get involved in them. It's not the thoughts you are interested in, but the act of perception itself. Can you take the thinking out of the perceiving? Can you look without the voice in your head commenting, drawing conclusions, comparing, or try to figure something out? After a couple of minutes or so, let your gaze wander around the room or wherever you are. Your alert attention lighting up each thing that it rests upon. Then listen to any sounds that may be present. Listen to them in the same way you looked at things around you. Some sounds may be natural. Water, wind, birds, while others are man-made. Some may be pleasant, others unpleasant. However, don't differentiate between good and bad. Allow each sound to be as it is without interpretation. Here too, relax but alert attention is the key. When we perceive without interpreting or mental labeling, which means without adding thought to our perceptions, we can still use the deeper connectedness underneath our perception of seemingly separate things. All right. This is what we were chatting about. Indeed, it was. Much gratitude for that. Much gratitude for that. Once again, another reminder. Perception without thought. Perception without thought. Boom. Adrian, I forgot about the live again, and I was going to say something, but forgot what it was. All good, Adrian. All good. Gratitude, you're here. Gratitude, you made it. You made it in perfect timing for our guided meditation time. And hey, you know what? You know it's a great way to practice presence? When we forget something, just leave it be. It'll come back. Like when ideas escape us, words escape us, just let it be. Let it be. Much gratitude for the message that was shared. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone who's here, who might be watching, maybe even watching the recording. Much gratitude to you. Much gratitude for live number 31 in the community, making it all happen, making it all come together. I'm here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Instagram every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And TikTok every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Here Now Live. The topic might be the same, but the conversation, it always flows in its own unique direction. Much gratitude for that experience, and gratitude for those who come on and are a part of that conversation. So yes, indeed. Thank you to everyone here who supports this channel. Much appreciated. I Am Sheepy mentioned a short, so I'm grateful that the messages are being heard and received, and gratitude for all that find a sense of peace and insight from all of the messages on this channel. Much love, as the one who is the channeler for these messages. I would most definitely say that if in experience, the words that you speak and the emotion that comes along with those words, it most definitely flows through you. You feel it. And each time there is a Here Now Live, I feel a sense of awareness and awakening flowing through me. And it's this incredible cycle of giving and receiving, and all ways of giving and receiving occur in this world. Inevitable counterparts. And so more and more I recognize how much that reward is in the moment, reward is in the service, reward is in the now, present moment. It's called the present for a reason. And so much gratitude for this space once again. Give the flowers now. Never get sick of gratitude. Gratitude is a language of presence. Gratitude is a language of presence. All right? If you're going to speak to yourself in gratitude. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for going on Here Now Live today. Maybe I forgot Here Now Live, but I made it. I still made it for the last bit of it. Shout out Adrian. But indeed, a language of gratitude. When you shift that, you will see just how much the mind creates problems. You will see just how much the mind creates problems. And it's just interesting. Hey, no judgment. You just watch it. Just watch it. See it. Cheers to that. Aaron Roma, good to see you. Much love, the Jade Revolution. Welcome. we are diving on into our guided meditation. So I'm gonna ask you all, which meditation would you like to participate in tonight? It could be the body scan meditation. We scan our body, become fully aware of our body. We can do the loving kindness meditation where may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be at peace. We send it to ourselves and others. Or the gratitude meditation, where we thank ourselves for showing up. We thank our thoughts and emotions. Let me know. Which meditation would you all like to do? No worries. The Jade Revolution. I was eating dinner earlier. Sorry, no worries. Eat dinner. Be present with your food. You're here now. That's all that matters. Here now. Eddie, gratitude meditation. Okay. Gratitude. I am Shibi. Gratitude meditation. Alrighty. Gratitude just Sean. The Jade Revolution body scan. I can mix a body scan in there. That's what I'll do. I'll mix a body scan. Alright, gratitude it is. I'm watching the flow. I see the flow. I see the alignment in the chat. The Jade Revolution, I'm being outvoted. Oh my gosh. No worries. All right, y'all. The community has spoken. And we shall speak in the language of gratitude. Doesn't matter what language you speak, we can all speak in the language of gratitude. Gratitude. Gratitude is a channel into the present moment. The moment that is always here. It will never not be here. That moment is now. The moment where no thoughts or emotions interfere with the perception of the moment. Present moment awareness is perception without thought. Perception without thought. Or at the very least, without thought interrupting. Awareness fully in the now, the present moment. Everything that is happening minus your thoughts and your feelings about it. When we speak in a language of gratitude, there is no comparison. There's no comparison to what we did in this moment, to the next moment, or to a past moment. There's no comparison. It's the acknowledgement that this moment as it is as it is as a whole. Those other moments in the past are no longer. The idea of another moment in the future is not here. When we're a language of gratitude, this moment is all that exists. No comparison, no competition with the self, only an acknowledgement of what is. An immediate alignment, a natural alignment. Natural, centered, grounded, fully aware. I invite you to join me in this gratitude meditation. Take this moment to release any tension within the body. Relax your eyebrows, your forehead, your jaw. Relax your shoulders, your limbs. Ensure that you are in a comfortable position. That opens up space for you to be alert and aware, above thought, aware. Take this moment to follow the natural inhalation and exhalation of your breath, just being fully aware of the now. If a thought arises, just notice. Your true nature does not get involved. No need to get involved, just notice and be. Take one conscious breath in. One conscious breath out. Bring your awareness to your heart center and be here. Take this moment to thank yourself for showing up today. Whatever that means to you, thank yourself. Allow whatever needs to arise, what needs to dissolve, and just notice. Take this moment to thank thought. Thank the thoughts that flow through your mental field. Allow whatever needs to arise, what needs to dissolve, and notice. Take this moment to thank emotions, energy in motion. Allow what needs to arise, what needs to dissolve, and notice. Thank yourself for taking care of your mind. Allow and notice. Thank yourself for taking care of your physical body. Allow and notice. Take this moment to thank yourself for awareness of your soul. Allow and notice. Take this moment to thank yourself for being kind to yourself. Allow and notice. Thank yourself for being kind to others. Allow and notice. Awareness is love. Whatever we bring our awareness to, we give love to. Awareness is life. Whatever we give our awareness to, we give life to. Breath is life. Whenever we give our awareness to breath, we give awareness to life. Take one conscious breath in. One conscious breath out. take this moment to scan your entire body, starting from your toes all the way up to the crown of your head. Fully engaged in this awareness, fully engaged in the life that you are, fully engaged in the groundedness of your physical body. Thank yourself for today's practice. Thank yourself for speaking in a language of gratitude, in opening up space to perceive without thought, perceive without judgment, perceive without criticism. Thank yourself for giving awareness to the entirety of your body, for stepping out of the mind and into the groundedness of the body. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. Give yourself a nice stretch. Open your eyes and return when you're ready. Thank you all for joining me in that meditation. Thank you for your preferences and sharing with me what it was that you felt called to hear tonight. I'm sending you all peace. I'm sending you love, wholeness, and continued presence. Live in a state of gratitude. Peace and love. I am She flowing. Gratitude. Much love, Eddie. Wonderful, exquisite. Much love. Peace and love, Eddie. Peace and love. Just Sean. Much love, Jason. Much love. Peace, love, here-ness, now-ness, everyone. That was my way of cheersing. Much love to you all. I will see you all next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'll be on Instagram this Tuesday. All right. See y'all there. Much love.